Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to yet another episode of the Mixed Metals Podcast. This is the soonest I've been back, like back to back in a while. I think I recorded my last one about 2 weeks ago. Um, so the finals have started since we last spoke. Um, it's 2-2 at the moment. It is a best of three series now, basically. With in that scenario, OKC having a home court advantage, but Indiana has already proven that they can win in Oklahoma. So I think the beauty in having these two like smaller market teams in the finals is the fact that like you like pretty much everything that you once knew or that you feel like you once knew about the NBA is just null and void, at least for this series. Um, and I love that. I love the fact that we're about to see a team that has never won a championship win a championship. Um, a lot of exciting storylines in it. The bounce back of SGA. Halliburton is he only good in the clutch, or can he produce? Well, I that's not fair to say. Is he able to produce on this the biggest stage of his career? Um, Siakam, a proven champion, is he able to step it up? Also Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Um, which some people feel like he didn't deserve. Is he able to go back that up now and prove that he is who who they say he was in the previous series? Um, just a lot of interesting storylines and basically the death of the big three. Because excuse me, if you think about it, I mean, neither team has a quote unquote big three that was manufactured or anything like that. It's pretty much homegrown. SGA was traded for years ago before he entered his prime, before he was anywhere near this good, before he was an MVP caliber player. Now, obviously, being an MVP. So I think that's very interesting. And on the other side, you don't have a big three. You don't have a lot of people wouldn't consider Halliburton to even be a superstar, let alone Pascal or Miles Turner or any of their good role players. So just a lot of interesting storylines, man. I'm excited to keep watching. The game five is tomorrow at the time of this recording, the 16th. Um, so yeah, I still, I mean, I didn't see the series going this way at all. I thought that Indiana would win two games tops, and I thought that was pushing it. But seeing how they've been playing, I mean, they have pretty much been in each game except for maybe one. Um, when I mean the odds makers still it's still right now have them losing the series is like the they're definitely outplaying their seed, if you will. So that's been fun to watch. Also, and on the NBA side, I pretty much just jumped into the stories. Desmond Bain from the Memphis Grizzlies was traded to the Magic today for Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Cole Anthony, and four unprotected first round picks. Um, One first round pick swap. So the 16th overall pick from this season will belong to Memphis. And they have some swap rights with Phoenix and Washington, which could be interesting because I don't know, the further away you move from Kevin Durant and Devin Booker pairing, the closer you probably move to, mediocrity in that regard. So, and the Wizards are not. I don't see the Wizards being good for a very long time. So, those picks could be pretty interesting. Um, I think the Magic overall probably won this trade. Desmond Bain is a proven 3-and-D guy. Uh, he's strong. He's very strong. He can space the floor for the Magic. And KCP kind of outwore his welcome there. I'm sure they were. I think they were going to use Cole Anthony as a trade piece anyway. But it would. Cole Anthony was coming into his own. Let's see what his stats were. Um, right here on ESPN, his stats. And I do apologize if you are able to hear those ads running. Um, so for his career, 12.5 points, uh, 4.3 rebounds, 3.8 assists per game. Free throw percentage, 84.7%. Never shot over 89.4% free throw wise. I mean, that's still amazing. 3-point percentage, 34.5. Field goal percentage, 41.9, so basically 42%. Not bad. I think he'll be a very decent role player. This was a first round pick back in 2020. So, you know, um, I do think that something is about to happen in Memphis. They had their so-called big three with Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Desmond Bain, and you don't really see Ja just based on his previous antics and his injury history. You don't necessarily see him being someone that can be counted on in Memphis. So I think that I think that both of them are actually likely to be moved this offseason with this trade. I had Desmond Bain not been traded, I wouldn't have seen them moving anybody really. But I think that that's just the first piece of the puzzle for them. So we will see what happens with that. Um, just briefly moving into hockey, the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Um, the Panthers are up 3-2 in that series in the Stanley Cup final. They move within one game of winning it. Uh, that's pretty much all I got on that. I haven't watched any games. I don't typically watch unless it's the Red Wings. So there's that. MLB, I watched my Cardinals lose again today. They lost three out of the four with the Brewers, and they have lost seven of their last eight games overall. I'm not sure what's going on. It is baseball. It's always a long season, 162 games. So there will be ebbs and flows with every team unless you're just at the bottom of the bottom or the top of the top. Um, Basically the teams within those lines, are always will have their ups and downs. Um, in the WNBA, I believe the Commissioner's Cup is going on at the moment. Um, let's see what we got. All right, so the Chicago Sky beat the Sun 78-66. Uh, Angel Reese had her first triple double. Let's check this out. And everybody likes to rag on Angel Reese for whatever reason, but she ended up with 11 points, 11 assists, and 13 rebounds. Um, with 10 of them being defensive rebounds, 7 of 7 from the free throw line, which is incredible. Um, Pretty balanced scoring throughout. You got 11, 10, 0, 11, 10 from the starting five. Got 16 off the bench from Haley Van Lith. Um, and that brings their record, the Chicago Sky's record, to 3-7. Which record wise, it kind of doesn't matter in the WNBA that much. A lot of the teams make it, and there are no conferences because they don't have enough teams yet. So, just put them in the tournament, and I'm pretty sure any team likes their chances. The Atlanta Dream is 8-3 at the moment. I think Brittany Griner broke a record or tied a record for blocks recently. She got 2 blocks in this game. and they won 89-56. They smoked the Washington Mystics. Washington is just in turmoil altogether, except for the Commanders. Um, Not a lot of only one player in double digits from the Mystics. Not much to talk about there. Alicia Gray with 32 points, 10 to 14 shooting. Ryan Howard with 14. You got Tahina Peo, 16 points off the bench. Nas Hillman, 10 points off the bench. So I mean, they were scoring from all over the floor. Let's see the standings for the WNBA. Minnesota Lynx just lost their first game. They were handed their first loss by the Indiana Fever in Caitlin Clark's return, and I believe she had 32 points in her return. Yep. And they won 102-88. She hit seven threes in that game. I mean, Caitlin Clark is Caitlin Clark. There's really nothing you can do about that. Um, New York Liberty are in second overall with a 9-1 record. The Atlanta Dream are 8-3, and they are third in the league. Phoenix Mercury are 8-4. Seattle Storm 6-5. Golden State Valkyries, which I think is the newest team, 5-5. Indiana Fever also 5-5. So you got a little jumble there. The Aces are also 5-5. Let me check on Asia's stats. Like reigning MVP, she's leading in every statistical category. Um, Basically 21 points, basically 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and if you round it up, it's 3 blocks per game. So yeah, Asia is leading in every statistical category. But I don't believe that she's the MVP front runner at the moment. So that's pretty interesting. And I mean, there could be some voter fatigue. There could just be somebody playing better. So I think I'm gonna start. I really need to start checking out the WNBA on a more consistent basis. Uh, I'm not sure who any of these people are, so forgive me. But it says the Giants, per ESPN, the Giants are sending Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, outfield prospect James Tibbs, and another prospect to the Red Sox for Rafael Devers. Um, Devers is apparently an all-star. Uh, and according to Jeff Passan of ESPN, he just didn't want to be in Boston anymore. So, they granted his wishes and got him out of there. Uh, and other baseball news, let's check some other scores. Dodgers are up on the Giants right now, 5-3. I think that's the primetime game. Um, Yeah, it's on ESPN right now. Reds beat the Tigers. Orioles beat the Angels. Rockies beat the Braves 10-1. Marlins beat the Nationals 3-1. Red Sox beat the Yankees. That's a heated rivalry there, 2-0. Phillies beat the Blue Jays. Thank you, Phillies. We couldn't seem to beat the Blue Jays. We got swept by the Blue Jays earlier last week. Rays shut out the Mets 9-0. Astros beat the Twins in 10, 2-1. Athletics beat the Royals 3-2. Cardinals and Brewers, we went over that. Cubs beat the Pirates. Cubs are still hot right now. Um, White Sox are terrible. They lost to the Rangers 2-1. Mariners beat the Guardians. They shut them out 6-0. And the Padres beat the Diamondbacks 8-2. Um, Pretty sure we slid significantly in the standings, but a lot of people don't even count the standings until at or around the All-Star break. But I don't know. I still got my confidence with the Cardinals. It like I said earlier, every team will go through their slumps unless you just are just not a good team that season and you pretty much stay in a slump. Um, so that is what that is. Uh, Not a lot of NFL news. Apparently, Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals have resumed their talks. I'm really hoping that situation gets resolved, whichever way, pretty soon. It's been dominating the headlines, the NFL headlines for weeks now. Um, the Saints signed Cam Akers to a 1 year deal um, after his minicamp tryout. That was on the 13th. That was reported on the 13th, at least. Um, it's pretty much it on the NFL front. All right. Um, so let's see. Games. I've been playing Call of Duty. Uh, I just ordered my Switch 2, so I'll be able to, review that whenever it gets here. Um, I think I'm gonna get Bravely Default 2 or Bravely Default, whichever one the game was, on the Switch 2. And I'm gonna get Cyberpunk 2077. I will get Mario Kart World, but it'll be a while from now. Never been that big of a Mario Kart guy. I feel like that's more of a family game, for me anyway. Uh, let's see. Excited for some games coming out. Ninja Gaiden 4, I finally pre-ordered that. Outer Worlds 2, finally pre-ordered that. Um, Waiting on the pre-order for Borderlands 4. They've been real coy with the price, and I can't stand Randy Pitchford. It's sad that he's still like the CEO of over there at Take Two, or I believe it's Take Two. Whoever he, whatever he does over there. Um, or Gearbox, not Take Two. My apologies. Um, and music, I've been listening to a lot of Boldy James. I've been listening to the Wrong Streets and uh Conductor mixtape or album, whatever you want to call it. Excited for more Griselda music. I mean Boldy, of course. Boldy, Rome Streets. Uh Benny is actually my favorite like rapper out of Griselda, but his last few projects has kind of been hit or miss. He put out like a 7 track EP called Excelsior. It's okay. It's not my favorite Benny project by any means. Uh, the Clips put out Ace Trumpets since I've been away. Um, and it's the first single off of their upcoming album, Let God Sort Them Out. Very excited. My wife and I are going to the show when they come on tour. Um, I mean, if to know me is to know how much I care about Pusha T. Pusha T is one of my top 5 rappers of all time, and I feel like Ace Trumpets is just a display of just wittiness and slick wordplay and that kind of thing. Um, I'm very, very, very excited for that album. And I want to talk about an album that I can't necessarily say that I was excited about it in the first place, so I can't be disappointed by it. But I do want to talk about the Carter Six. So the original plan was to go track by track. Um, and I wasn't gonna review like do a deep dive on each song, but I was gonna just listen to the album and try to take it in and pause, try to analyze. And it took me to a an interesting place. Um, so I was able to review up until Peanuts to an Elephant. Um, and then I kind of just like I don't know, my mind kind of just went blank after that. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't enjoying the album at all. Um, so I'll just start. King Carter is just an intro track. It's not really a song. Welcome to the Carter. He was Lil Wayne on this. I mean, I can't really complain about it. It was just like if you like Lil Wayne, if you like Lil Wayne from lately, like I would say about 2016 to now, then you would probably love this song. Um, just typical Wayne raps on it. I have really no notes on it. Um, Bells, I did not like. I don't like the flip. I don't like the beat flip. My biggest issue on this album is the production. Um, I don't like it's not there's no cohesion, there's no like I can't define the sound of this album. And I don't know if that was done intentionally or not. If it was, then kudos to Wayne. Um, I got so much to talk about like just not specifically this album, but just the Carter series in general and how I was with Wayne. This opened up like it brought back memories of a lot of things. Um Bells I did not like. Hip hop, I think Big X the Plug snapped on it. Other than that, it was just a regular song. Sharks, Sharks sounds dated. Uh to me like but in a way that like not that it sounds like an old song, but it sounds like something that could have been on Rebirth or I'm Not a Human Being 2 or something like that. I just it just didn't fit the Carter for me. Like it let me know that like okay, like the touchstone to the Carter series is officially like it is somewhere else. Like the Carter has gone like into a different place, which depending on who's listening or whatever, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Um, Banned from No made no sense to me because he did this beat before. I don't understand the point, and I didn't like the song. Uh, the days I have no notes really. Um, I will say it sounds kind of like the days sounds like a song that like on ESPN where they're about to go to commercial and they play like a song that maybe you've been hearing a lot or maybe you hadn't heard in a while or something like that. Um, and they play it like right before they go to commercial. That's what that song sounds like to me, and it sounds like I could see him getting a lot of placement with that song. Cotton Candy, I think Lil Wayne kind of got out rapped by Two Chains on that one, which is not a bad thing. Two Chains excellent rapper. Um, and I mean the album's kind of started to fall apart here. Like seriously fall apart right here for me. Flex Up is okay. Um, he was doing a lot of mumbling, a lot of weird just things with his voice. I didn't care for it that much. Island Holiday, I absolutely hate it. I cannot stand that song. Um, Loki's theme, nah. If I play guitar, was not good for me. Um, and Peanuts to an Elephant is where I kind of stopped. Just because I had already started to tune it out, and I didn't feel like that was fair to keep doing as far as reviewing this album. Um, I don't like the beat of Peanuts to an Elephant. It was produced by Lin Manuel Miranda. Um, Interesting choice, I guess. I don't like how he spelled peanuts to an elephant. I feel like that's like that is such a representation of the song and the album overall. Um, I think that each and this is gonna be a strong statement. Each Carter that he has put out since the Carter 3 has been worse. Um, and even so it, the reason that this album rubs me the wrong way so much is because I revere Wayne. Wayne was perhaps my favorite rapper at one point in time. There was a time where I had like these little MP3 players, um, and at some points like I would have nothing but Wayne music on the MP3 player. So that let's say that the MP3 player holds up to maybe 80 songs. 80 out of those 80 songs were Lil Wayne songs. Um, I loved Wayne from about well, Dedication and the Carter around that time. up until we'll say the Carter Three, you couldn't tell me nothing about Wayne. Um, and then when he was uh Mr. Remix Baby or whatever he was saying, I mean he was like a force to be reckoned with. I hate that phrase, but it is what it is. Um, he was undeniable at that point. And looking back, you know, I do believe that we look at like a lot of people, a lot of Wayne fans look at Wayne with like rose tinted glasses because if you go back to the Carter Three, there is a huge lack of substance there. He wasn't really like none of the stuff that he was talking about connected to another thing. It was just one liners. It was just a song full of one liners. Um, and that kind of started to be his niche. And just going back, I mean, the Carter Two is my favorite. I've always said that. I will probably always say that the Carter Two is my favorite Wayne album and my favorite Carter, obviously. And I don't think he topped it. I think that the Carter Two is a classic. It had what was my favorite song for a long time, Hustler Music. Just when Wayne was rapping that way, I think that he was a better rapper. But I think that he's more of a metaphor artist now. Um, when the Carter Three came out, my cousin and I, that summer that Carter Three came out, you couldn't tell me nothing about Wayne. And I mean, I was like studying his interviews. I didn't necessarily want to ever dress like Wayne. I think, and that's another thing that I'll get to. But like, I mean, the things that he was doing, it was like unbelievable, man. Everybody knows the whole real G's moving silence like lasagna. That's like such an iconic like hip hop line. Like people will talk about that, long after Wayne's gone, long after I'm gone, long after, like they'll talk about that hundreds of years from now, probably. Um, I just don't think that, I think that Wayne's music, uh, arrested development, as they say. I think that, the fervor that he got for the Carter Three, so selling 1 million in a week. Um, I mean, can you imagine going platinum in a week? That's I can't imagine that feeling. Um, and so I think that that taste of that much success at that time is probably what, like, so I live by two things. And I mean it is what it is. So you keep buying bullshit, they're gonna keep making it. And you put lipstick on the monkey, it's just gonna be a monkey with lipstick. And I feel like both of those things apply here. Because I mean, he hasn't gotten better. In my opinion, his subject matter has stayed stagnant, and there's just no progression, no growth in what he's talking about. I don't think we will ever get a 444 type or Mr. Morale type album from Wayne, and that's okay. But it is like I don't. It's as if he's not realizing that his fans have grown up. Like, think about Wayne was rapping at 14, 15 with Cash Money, and he's now in his 40s. And so he's seen he's seen the whole world at this point, basically, and is still talking about, like, you can guarantee that Wayne is gonna talk about eating cat. You can guarantee that he's gonna have some silly metaphors. He's gonna have something about how life's a bitch. Um, I haven't really heard any, and the F is for lines lately. So but that used to be on the checklist. And you could just count on the bad singing. You can, I mean, it's just the detachment gimmick that Wayne has, I think, has outstayed his welcome. Like people that are close to Wayne all say the same thing. Wayne don't do nothing. Wayne don't leave the house. All he do is watch ESPN or sports or whatever. And that, I mean, he was saying that on Dedication 2. That was like '05, I believe. So um I guess you, in a way, you don't necessarily expect, you know, more from such an artist. If he's doing the same thing, like what do you want him to do? So I any Wayne album that comes out, I will listen to it. I'll give him, that respect at least, because Wayne meant so much to me, hip hop wise, and just his representation of the South. Um, so I feel like I, in a way, owe him that respect as a former fan, I guess. Um, but I'm not running to it, and I'm not listening with any kind of expectations, with any kind of positive expectations, I guess. It's like I'm almost like listening to it with a handicap. um and I hate that it's gotten to that point with me, with Wayne. um on one of the songs he said that he was getting better, and I found out to be so funny, because I'm not, who am I to say that he's getting worse? I just think he's staying the same, and I don't want to hear exactly the same thing. You have growth from, like I said, you have Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. You have a 444. These are albums that transcend genres, and like they go through, um the maturity of hip hop. They far exceed those labels and things like that. And I mean, I don't know. I just, as much as we have grown up as fans, Wayne's music has stayed the same, and that's just disappointing. Um, Especially if you're talking about someone who is looked at as one of the greats, one of the all-time greats. I think the common all-time greats, well, for me anyway, Nas and Jay-Z, are two pillars in hip hop for me. And Jay's last release, and you look at Nas, Nas is actually getting better. He's 50. He's in his 50s. Um, and I mean, output, quality and quantity have matched, especially in recent years. I would say since Nasir, Nas has not put out a bad project at all. With the Magic albums being, I mean, incredible. So I just hate to see this happening to an artist that I once like adored as much as I did. And I mean, I'm just Quan on my podcast. It is no big deal, but I'm just, I don't know, man. It was such a letdown. And I did, the last album I believe was Funeral, uh, and I listened to it, and I mean, it was, man, it was whatever. But I just, uh, I don't think that the Carter series means as much as it once did anymore, and that's the ultimate like letdown as far as Wayne goes for me. Um, yeah. Uh, hopefully, hopefully we are able to get some introspective like raps from Wayne at some point. Um, him having the kids by, different women, and dealing with the mothers of the children, the different personalities of the kids themselves, and Regina getting older, and being an adult, and those kind of things. I would love to hear um Wayne as a father, and um as an elder statesman in hip hop. But it doesn't appear that we will be getting anything of the sort anytime soon. So it is what it is. Um, that's pretty much all I got. Uh, Hopefully, I will get my Switch 2 sooner than later. Other than that, I will see you all next time. I love you. Peace.